easy English story, improve your listening and expand your vocabulary. Don't forget to download your free PDF.
The Great Biscuit Heist. Mr. Albert and Mrs. Edith had been married for over 50 years, and in that time, they had developed a silent understanding. The biscuit tin belonged to Edith, and Albert was to keep his hands off it. The tin, an old but sturdy metal box with a picture of a cat on the lid, sat proudly on the highest shelf in the kitchen. Every afternoon, Edith would settle in her chair with a cup of tea and precisely 3 biscuits. Albert, on the other hand, was left with celery sticks. One fateful afternoon, Albert decided he had suffered enough. He eyed the biscuit tin, strategizing. If he used the chair, he could reach the counter. If he balanced on one foot, he could stretch just enough. With the agility of a man half his age, Albert climbed onto the chair. It wobbled. He ignored it. He placed one foot on the counter, stretching his arm toward the tin. His fingers barely brushed the edge. Then, disaster. The tin tumbled, the lid flew open, and biscuits rained down like golden confetti. The cat, who had been sleeping peacefully, leaped for feet into the air in terror. Albert, caught off balance, landed on the floor with an undignified thud. Edith entered the kitchen at that exact moment. She looked at her husband, the scattered biscuits, the guilty-looking cat, and the chair now lying sideways. A long silence followed. Then, with a sigh, she picked up a biscuit, handed it to Albert, and simply said, "Next time, just ask." Albert, still sprawled on the floor, took the biscuit and grinned. Perhaps, after 50 years, negotiations were finally open.
Here are the important vocabulary words, phrases, and phrasal verbs that might be unclear for a B1 level learner, along with their explanations in English.
Vocabulary and expressions. Silent understanding. A mutual agreement or rule that is understood without speaking. Sturdy. Strong and durable, not easily broken. Strategizing. The act of making a plan to achieve something. The agility of a man half his age. A way to describe someone moving with the quickness and flexibility of a much younger person. Tumbled. Fell down suddenly and in an uncontrolled way. Rained down like golden confetti. A figurative way to say something fell in large amounts, like confetti at a celebration. Leaped 4 feet into the air. Jumped very high, often used in exaggeration to describe a startled reaction. A long silence followed. Used to describe a moment when no one speaks, often because of surprise or tension. Simply said. Used when someone says something in a clear and wise but straightforward manner. Negotiations were finally open. A humorous way of saying that discussions about getting biscuits could now happen, as if it were a formal deal. Fateful. It can describe events that change the course of a situation, sometimes in a dramatic or unfortunate way. Phrasal verbs. Keep one's hands off. To not touch or take something. Eye something. To look at something with interest, often because you want it. Balance on one foot. To stand on one foot while trying to stay steady. Brush the edge. To barely touch the surface or side of something. Hand something to someone. To give something to someone directly.
Thank you for listening. If you liked the story, subscribe for more. And follow us on Instagram.